Sitting down with General Manager Tom Fitzgerald after the conclusion of the trade deadline. That must feel nice to sort of have that in the rearview mirror now. Fitzy, you made some moves, and let's really talk about the goaltending position, which has been something that's been on everybody's minds and thoughts, really over the last little while. You send Vitek Vanacek out to San Jose. You bring in two more goaltenders the other way. Talk to me a little bit about the decision-making process there and why it's so important in terms of setting you up for the now and the future.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's obviously been the white elephant in the room. I've been totally aware of that. Been very much in the market. Teams aren't looking to give away their goaltenders, and as teams aren't looking to give away their goaltenders, every time I talk, I was looking for improvement. Stretches where maybe Vitek could find his game where it was last year. I thought Nico Dawes came in and did a really good job replacing Schmidt at the time, but still remembering he's just a young goaltender. And then Vitek got hurt, but it never stopped me from certain phone calls within the league and in particular teams to see the availability of their goalies. Jake Allen was a guy that we absolutely looked into earlier, but he had a 7-team trade list that we were on, and just wasn't interested. So as everything went by, the years and the games ticked by, it was intensifying with certain teams thinking, okay, can we get closer? There's maybe something there. And there was at one point I thought I had a deal for a top goalie. But that didn't happen, and actually went right down to the wire today as well. Even with the moves we made, we were still trying to add. But you know what? It didn't happen.
Yep.
But what we did put together in the strategy leading up to the deadline was, how can we set ourselves in the off season if something doesn't happen by the 8th, which we felt was going to be hard anyways because we're talking about goalies who are with playoff teams or teams that are contending for playoff spots. But how can we set ourselves up to really maximize our cap space for that position in the off season?
What is it like sort of in the position that you guys are in right now? Because you're in the here and now, but you have to make those types of moves. So what is that like for a general manager and his team entering a day like today, knowing that you want to send the right message to the players that are on your team right now, who are part of your future, but also knowing that you're still kind of in that race for this year?
Yeah, that had nothing to do with taking away from this race. And people may say, well, you took away your leading scorer. Who was a UFA that we wouldn't be signing? And again, when you look at the percentages, we have to take into account like what those say. But at the end of the day, we've got to win hockey games, and we haven't won enough hockey games consistently for me to say, okay, I will rent my own rentals.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is what Toffoli would.
Yeah, he would have been.
Be.
No different than last year with our guys, but we were in a way different situation in the standings last year. And all the good teams go through that. And we saw that last year with us. We kept the Ryan Graves, we kept the Seversons. We didn't sell off. This was a little different. Well, it was a lot different, quite honestly. A position that I didn't think we'd be in when the season started. But here we are. This is this is reality. So I felt taking advantage of it and helping our team, with future assets that we can use to make future moves, or at least have the ability to do that, or flexibility. But we still have good players, and we still have a lot of talent.
Really good players.
And this isn't out of the question that we can make a run. Yeah. So that was my mindset. But the reality was, I because of where we're at, I think it would have been foolish for me not to try to improve with futures that we can use down the road to try to better our team, or draft good players.
And I suppose that's not to say that you didn't try to potentially figure out something with Tyler Toffoli as someone who you had interest in keeping, but sometimes it just happens that the two sides just can't agree, and you have to make that decision. I'm going to have to get something for this. Is that basically like what had that kind of play out?
Well, yes and no. Had an idea what he was looking for. I'm not sure they didn't have an idea what we were looking for.
Right.
Once we explained to them that this is what we're thinking, it didn't match up with them, and I respect that. You know, as a potential UFA, you hit the market. You can, you know, you got 31 other teams that can bid on you. 32 with us. It just wasn't okay. I get where you're at. This is where we're at. We'll circle back. Never changed, and it's just something that we felt, okay, I don't think this is going to happen before the deadline, but I'm not moving them because where we're at, I want to make a push, and I'll rent my own rental. But then we're losing games. You know, you're not stringing more than a win together. You can't put two wins together. You win one, lose one, win two, lose two. You're gaining
no momentum.
Yeah, you're gaining no traction, and it never went anywhere. Hence the coaching change, and hence the sell-off here. But like I said, we've got a good team. We've got really good players that care and will push and will compete and do everything they can. You saw last night. I thought that was one of our better games. The high compete, the speed that we played with. We just haven't done that consistently this year. So, you know, we're all, you know, I'm the lead guy here. It's my, I'll take the blame. It's my fault. But I also want people who look in the mirror and can say, I could have been better. I know I could have been better. And I'm learning from this. I want players, I want coaches, I want equipment managers, we all can be better. Yeah. But like I said, our window just opened. This is going to be a long run, and we're going to look back at this season and go, you know what, maybe one of the better things that needed to happen to us, where guys may have been a little, you know, satisfied for a 113-point season, but the reality is, each year is a different year, and you've got to be prepared, including myself, and be ready to go. So I think our organization, I think our fan base is going to look back to this and go, remember that year? It really helped us, you know, move forward.
And you'll be busy this summer with, you know, that cap space that you cleared, sort of giving the franchise a little flexibility going forward. Thank you so much, Tom.
You're welcome.
You've had a busy day, so appreciate you sitting down with me.
Great.